I am with Chris Moneymaker, 2003 Main Event champ. Chris, we just got word that your table on day 2 is being moved to the feature table. Is that flattering or like kind of expected?
A little bit of both, maybe. There's still a lot of great players, a lot of former main event champions still in. So I was a little bit surprised actually, because I saw, looking at the leaderboard, that there's a lot of guys with a lot of chips, but it's obviously a little bit flattering, and it's nice to be up there.
You're the OG. Well, that leads me to ask, is all of this because of you?
It's not all because of me. Obviously there's so many different factors that go into it, but everybody can relate to me, and it was, I call it the right spot, the right time, and I've been riding it for 20 years.
Seriously. You're headed to the feature table. Is there any way that you've been there before, you're used to camera time, is there any way that you will need to adjust your game from literally having sat in the Amazon room to now moving to that feature?
Well, I just moved to this table, and for the last 30 minutes, they found out they were on the feature table, so I told them basically, if you bust me, you don't get to go to the feature table. So I've been running over them a little bit. I anticipate that once we get to the final table, they'll probably, bow up a little bit and fight back, but they literally were taking it to heart that if they busted me, they weren't going to get the feature table, and they wanted to. So they were folding a lot. But then again, once you get the bright lights on you, it affects everybody a little bit different. So, I've been playing with the guys, like I said, for about 30 minutes, but it's going to be a little bit different game now, because the cameras are rolling. People will either tighten up or loosen up depending upon, some might want to show off, some might want to play real tight and not go out. So we'll just have to see how people adjust. But usually, after about 30 minutes or so, people just start falling back into their normal game and forget about it.
Is there a way that you can exploit when you're sitting at the table now, just freshly moving? Is there any small adjustments, or you just basically have to sit there and figure out what everyone's doing?
Yeah, you basically come into a new table every time with no game plan. You just look and see who has the big stacks and pay attention to how they're playing first, and then you focus on the person on your left and just see how often they're raising, how often they're 3-betting, but how they're playing. Just that's the only problem. I've had 3 table breaks today, and whenever you have a table break, you got to spend 30 minutes to an hour trying to figure out who you can bluff, who you can't bluff, who's going to call, with middle pair, and so you start paying attention to that stuff after about an hour. You kind of figure that out. The problem I have right now is, again, I've been there for 30 minutes, but they've been playing a little bit different than I expect they'll play here going forward. So it's basically, I imagine I'm going to sort of sit back and be patient, but again, at the same time, it's also the main event, so it pays to be patient. There's only one guy at the table that can hurt me chip-wise, so and we haven't played a single pot in the 30 minutes that we've been there. He's on the complete opposite end of the table, so I like the table draw. We're going to have a fun table. It's going to be a lot of banter, and hopefully it's just a nice little smooth ride up. I'd like to sit there all day with the same group and just have a nice run.
And are you feeling a bit rusty? Just before we started this interview, you mentioned you're like, oh wow, okay, World Series, I'm here, haven't played in a while.
Yeah, I had decided to come out yesterday, and when I first got out here, it was definitely weird sitting down at the table for the first time, and actually, I didn't even know I could riffle chips again, but yep, I could do it. And for the first 30 minutes, it was like, wow, this is awesome, sitting here and talking with people and playing in person and, playing poker. After 30 minutes, it's kind of, I remember this,
Right.
It's kind of old hat and just back into the groove.
And lastly, before you head on in there, I asked Joe Hashan the same question. Once you've been the World Series of Poker Main Event champion, what kind of poker goals can you even set for yourself or aspire to?
Deuce, win it again.
I love it.
Honestly, that's about the only thing. At the end of the day, I just try to support for my family, but after that, obviously the only goal that I have in poker per se is just to try to win this thing again. This is the pinnacle of all poker, is trying to win this event. It's nice to be back, and hopefully I can make a deep run. And I've only cashed in this thing one time since I won, so it'll be nice to get a cash and a deep run under my belt.
No easy feat. That's a lofty goal from Chris Moneymaker here at the 2021 World Series of Poker. Can he go back-to-back? It's a little early to tell, but PokerNews will be covering the action. I'm Tiffany Michelle, and this is powered by Club GG Poker.